Hello everybody, welcome to my channel once again. And today, as always, the goal is to help dreamers achieve their dreams. And the goal is to help you achieve your dream and to help others achieve your dream. This channel is dedicated for helping everybody who wants to apply for scholarship programs all over the world, especially Chevening Scholarship Program. If you're watching us now, this means that you came here to learn the tips and tricks how to write a recommendation letter, specifically an academic reference letter for the applicants of the Chevening Scholarship Program. Actually, who can watch this movie? Both you as an applicant who is willing or looking to participate or apply to any of these scholarship programs outside your country, whether it is Chevening, Fulbright, or that, which I have separate channels for each of them, giving full tutorials step by step how to apply. Or you are an instructor working in an academic institution, or you might be a professor, which I love you professors all. You might have come here to learn a few tips, not how to write, because you know how to write, but maybe to find the tips and requirements of the Chevening Scholarship Program to write a very, very winning academic reference letter for your best student who he or she is willing to get it for free and study in the UK or USA or maybe in Germany through that scholarship program. So before talking too much, I would like to tell you that, as you can see, we are going to start writing step by step a reference letter or an academic reference letter, how to start from the beginning, explaining the requirements of the Chevening Scholarship Program at the beginning, and then we will start to write one by one. This video will cover my own reference letter that I requested one of my professors who wrote this to me. Actually, we wrote this together, and the reason why we wrote this together was that like my professor, he knew me very well about what I was talking and what I was doing, but my professor was bombarded by students asking for recommendation letters, so he wanted to write something specifically for me. That's why I helped him along the way. And the professor, normally professors, they don't exchange drafts with their students, but he asked me to give my ideas to write one, so I'm going to share mine with you. Without waiting further, let's dive into this recommendation letter. First of all, I would like to explain the Chevening requirements for academic or professional reference letters or profession reference letters. This is okay. Our references should cover the following: your contact details. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Your contact details, address, email address, and your phone number. The person who is writing this academic reference letter, you as an instructor, you need to insert your contact details, address, email address, and phone number. How long have you known the applicant? How long do you know your student? In what capacity do you know the applicant? Is it professional, education, supervisory, voluntary, religious, anything? When did you last have regular contact with the applicant? Like if your student has graduated, when was the last time you saw, you met, and how did you meet? It's good to explain that, of course, as well. A brief overall endorsement of the applicants, including their skills in leadership and networking, personal, intellectual, and interpersonal qualities, ability to complete a demanding academic program in the UK. So to come and talk about these skills, like the skills in leadership and networking, a professor, an instructor knows very well about his students' leadership skills, what and how he is working in teamworks, what he does at or in the university, if he's active in like student association, in the events and the seminars, programs, conducting leading some teams at the university. And networking, is he good? Is he socially active? Is he socially engaging with other students? Does he have a good relation with the professor, with the departments of his major at the university, or anything? Personal, is he a good person? Is he a good manner? Intellectual and interpersonal qualities. Is he smart? Is he kind? Is he hardworking? Is he strong enough to have commitment? Is he has he submitted his assignments on time or not? Ability to complete a demanding academic program in the UK. And as a professor, if you're an applicant, your professor knows and should know how strong and demanding in person you are that you can pursue your master's degree in the UK, because master's degree in the UK, I'm telling you, it is very, very difficult compared to all of you watching me right now. Our countries and the UK, it's very difficult. Master's degree is difficult, but master's degree in the UK is even more difficult. That's why it is required, a reference is required by your professor. And if you are a professor, then definitely you know how intelligent and smart your student is. So without talking further, these are the requirements of the Chevening Scholarship Program and the reference letter that we are going to write step by step. We will cover each part and every one of them. So I will keep the Chevening requirements below so that in case if we need, we will come back to him. A few tips that it is not written in the Chevening requirements, but it's important. The first thing, as you can see, it says Kar Pharma University of Afghanistan, and there's logo. You should have the logo. This paper that you as an applicant, if you want to have a reference letter from your professor, try to request your professor to provide you in a letterhead of the university or your department. And if you are instructors, I kindly request you to please put it in an official way. And the reason is maybe Chevening does not want this. It looks better. It's very important to have it in a in a letterhead. If Chevening does not want it, this one reference letter that you write for your students or you get from your professor, you just need this one, and then you can change it and use it to many schools, many universities, and even other scholarship programs other than Chevening Scholarship. So try to have one reference and the best and use it for everything. So I wrote here academic reference letter, not profession reference letter, but I will remove this academic reference letter, just write reference letter. Why? Because this is a reference letter written by your instructor, your professor, your academic institution. If you are looking, or if you want to know how to write a reference letter as an employer, I don't know here, or maybe here you can see the link where I explain the same way how to write a step-by-step recommendation letter, a profession recommendation letter as an employer to your employees. Don't forget, you can watch that in the link, or also in the description there is the link for it. But this is only for the academic institution. So I have been talking a lot, and I think it was important to give you information about everything. Let's dive deep in and start our step-by-step writing. I write every sentences, and I then gave explanations to help you understand and get the best reference letter, the one that I got, my professors gave me, and it helped me get Chevening Scholarship Program, study in the UK, and it's time to help others. So normally my professor had wrote to whom it may concern. Okay, it came automatically, thank you, Word. And recommendation letter to for Sirat Haidari. Okay, this was like, oops, this was like a title. You can have it, you cannot have it, as you wish. Okay, it is a true, always have an opening sentence. So this is like, I don't know what you call it. This is a true pleasure for me to write this letter of recommendation for Sirat Haidari. Good. So my professor just writes such a thing to help me, introduce me. Just it. I know Sirat. My professor, if you watched my employer was more professional. He said, I know Haidari, not he didn't use my first name. But my professor, because he's my professor, he always calls me by my first name. He even in the paper he called me by my first name. But as you wish, or maybe professors, they know themselves how to call you, your first name or last name. But my professor used to have my first name. I know Sirat for the past 4 years as, sorry, it's 3 years, as he has taken family law and obligation courses. Family law, obligation cases with business law and commercial management, and commercial law management at the Karfarma University of Afghanistan. Okay. Actually, this is not the real name of my university. I just don't want to expose what my professor did to me. Maybe I don't have the consent of my professor to make such a video and help the whole world and use his text. Almost, I changed the text to paraphrase it, not plagiarize. And at the same time, I didn't use the name of my university because I don't want to, create any trouble for my university as well. So this is an imaginary name of the university, but the text is original. Okay, so you can also write KUOA. It's like the abbreviation, or KUA. Let's use this abbreviation. Sirat is without question one of the top 10 most outstanding students of KUA Law Department. Well, I don't know if you are giving a draft for your professor. I don't say you should write such a thing, but if your professor wants to write such a thing, I don't know, maybe you can do it. But I have no comments on this, okay? This is what the professor has written to me. Okay, Sirat is highly dedicated and has excellent analytical skills. In his clinical education course, he had worked on legal and business researches for laws and regulations. Everybody, I will give an explanation. I want to write it and then explain to make it more clear, okay? Governing investment club in Afghanistan, okay? Helping the business innovation hub of KUA. Okay, good. So this is very important, everybody. Sirat is highly dedicated and has excellent analytical skills. So he said, or he talked about something, analytical skills and his excellent dedication. So 2 keywords, and if you are writing such a thing, or you are requesting your professor, or if your professor has written such a thing, like 2 keywords, analytical skills, very kind, beautiful, hardworking, intelligent, smart, then he should give examples talking about specifically analytical skills and also dedication and everything. This is important. So my professor had used these 2 words, dedicated and excellent analytical skills. Let's see, I don't remember, let's see if he had clearly explained them in the following sentences or not. If he has not, then I will tell you how he should have done it. In his clinical education course, this is good. This means an example just to start it. He had worked on legal and business researches. Business researches, legal is of course my law in total. Business researches, it's my love. This is very important for me because I am applying for what? International business law. And I need business in all my references and application and essays. for laws and regulations governing the investment club of Afghanistan. Wow, investment. This is also about business, economy, and of course law. And laws and regulations governing investment clubs in Afghanistan. That should be clubs actually. Helping the business innovation hub, because this innovation hub, it was like inside KUA, it was another like business development research center, and I was working there as a legal clinical education. This is a good one, and it shows my extra work or extracurricular activities. Following, so let's see what more examples he gave to me. Following his excellent academic performance, because he said he had good dedication. Now he talks about my performance and analytical skills. This is a good start, but still, let's see. Sirat is selected as a research associate for International Research Associates Program at the Pearson Institute for the Study and Resolution of Global Conflict, ATPI, in partnership with the KUA under the direction of University of Chicago Professor XX. Wow, this is good. Okay. So now he talks about my dedication and excellent analytical skills. How did they find it? Laws and regulation governing investment clubs in Afghanistan, working there, helping the business innovation hub of KU, and following his excellent academic performances. You see, my professor did not give me a step-by-step explanation of how well I did in this center, which I wish he would have done it, but he didn't. But he did another good thing. He made a shortcut. He didn't say he done that. He just said he was good enough because we selected him. Sirat is selected as a research associate following his excellent academics. Associate for International Research Program. This is a good. This is not a local. This is not a university level. This is an International Research Associates Program at the Pearson Institute in the United States of America, for the study and resolution of global conflict, ATPI. Wow. In partnership with KU, of course, this university, under the direction of University of Chicago, again in the United States, Professor X, which I don't want to write his name. So maybe my professor, of course not maybe, my professor was so smart that he didn't give, because Sirat was working from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the evening, and he was providing excellent and best research. He has been very smart, I think, that he just said, because he was good, we gave him this kind of thing, and then he was doing international research program. I think as a professor, something that you can get in this kind of paper is that your professor can explain that he did excellent analytical skills in writing a paper about the economy of your country, or if you're a doctor about the, doing very complex operations you did during your internship, or if you are an engineer, you have been designing or giving ideas for the professors or for your university. Of course, definitely you have some kind of associations, or you have some kind of club, engineering club. If you work there, you have done great achievements. Wow, you can see the sun. Wow, the sun looks beautiful today. It's a beautiful sunny day. And you can, of course, definitely use this kind of examples if you are an instructor, or if you're a student. You have to pinpoint those beautiful points to your professor, because your professor, you don't have to just say, okay, professor, write me a reference letter, bye. No, you have to send your CV to your professor. You have to talk about the classes. You have to remind your professor that, okay, professor, we had such kind of classes. Professor, I participated in such kind of programs during my studying at the university. So please remember it if you want to highlight it in my CV. And then you have to talk about them, whether it's related to your field or not. One thing I have to tell you about this part, you see, study and resolution of global conflict, it is not in my field. This is a weak point in this. But the good thing is that I work at the conflict dispute resolution center or conflict resolution center. So like 30% to 50% it is related to my field, but not 100%. But still the achievement was good for me. So this would be better if it was closed, for example, a study and resolution of business dispute resolution. That was like to the point, 100%. But this is still good. So, well, I thank my professor for making it a smart move there. So, then this paragraph hints here, he starts, Sirat Haidari is a careful. So now my professor goes to these parts. You see, Chevening requirements. How long have you known the applicant? He already explained that for the past 3 years. Okay. Okay, I forgot to write the name of the date here. September 28, 2000 X. I don't want to write the year. And then for 3 years, then it means that for the last several years, or any year that it might be. And professional education supervisory, which capacity? He's my professor, we know it. How long? And okay, professional and academic. When did you last have regular contact? Of course, the contact he will explain maybe later, or that means that since 3 years until now. And of course, skills and capacities. So now the professor needs to talk about my creativity, my skills, my networking, my other, endorsements. Sirat Haidari is a careful and creative thinker and has terrific ability to draw on his experiences, wow, and logical observations to develop thoughtful opinions on a variety of issues. Wow, that's a good sentence. He claims a lot of like terrific abilities, which is good, but it's not. It's a cliche. So be careful. Again, this sentence does not mean that you are going to this. You are the best person, because every recommendation letter has careful, creative thinking, terrific ability to draw on his experiences, logical observations. They are key good words, but they need explanations. To develop thoughtful opinions in a variety of issues. They're good, and if you want to justify them, it's very difficult. I know my professor cannot justify this, all of them. Participating, and now my professor should give justification, should give examples for a careful, creative thinking and terrific ability, experiences, logical observation. He should provide justification. Otherwise, if your professor writes such kind of things in your paper, you are a good student, he's a good student, he's smart, he's hardworking, but he doesn't give examples, you have a very terrible, not a terrific letter, but a terrible letter. So let's see how good my professor has written this for me. Participating in 13th William C. Viss International Commercial Arbitration Mood in 2016. The team made to semi-finals both in Bahrain and in Pan Asian Division in Hong Kong international rounds. Wow, I like this. You see, it talks about my terrific ability, creative thinking, and then he says that participating in 13th annual William C. Viss International Commercial Arbitration Mood is an extracurricular activities. I was representing my university, KUA, there, and we went to semi-finals. This is, I know our university was proud because among all the universities in Asia, I think it was 60 universities, my university, my team, we made it to semi-finals, top 4 among 60, almost 60 universities. It should be in my paper, and I'm proud of it. You need to, pinpoint such kind of achievements you might have. If you have participated in a competition, there were inter-university competition like MUN club, photography, I don't know, moot court competitions, debates, speech club, public speaking club, any kind of competition you have had that you participated, you brought something for your university, as small as it might be. My team, we didn't, or I didn't win the best award. We were not the runner-up or the champion. We were like semifinals, one of the four, like the fourth team. But still, it's good, you know, among 60 universities or something, it's good. Okay, because it was international. Sirat earned the distinction of ranking oral advocacy skill. I made a mistake. Ranking +11th out of 220 international participating oralists based on quality of arguments and oral advocacy skills. Wow. So in that competition in Hong Kong, there were, for my side as a speaker, there were 127 universities from all around the world. And I think there were over 2,000 students coming from all over the world. And there were, in that competition for my side that I was pleading, there were 440 participants. So my side was only 220 participants. So among 220 participants, I was ranked 11th out of 11th in 220 participants. And my professor wrote that here. That's a great thing, because it makes, you know, the professor talks exactly about me. Now it's not about my team of 6 individual people. So these kind of achievements, it's very good to insert it. It's not, I'm not bragging about myself, but I'm just showing my achievements as examples how you can brag about yourself to, you know, to show yourself why you should get this scholarship, because it's just a competition as well. Okay. Therefore, he was selected to coach the KUA West team in 2017, which secured the 2nd place in Middle East moot court in Kuwait. Moot court competition in Kuwait. So when I was ranked, we went to the semifinals. I started to coach the game. The university selected me to coach the next year. I went in 2016, as you can see. And then in the next year, I coached in 2017. I became the coach, and then my team won. I was in semifinal, but my team was in won this. So I even, you know, made our university go one step higher. Okay, that's my good thing, but what is your good thing? So, you know, pinpoint that thing for your professor. My professor knew about this actually, but my professor did not know the dates. My professor did not exactly know in Kuwait. So I had to help my professor to write such kind of a paper that, okay, it was in Kuwait, we went to semifinals in Hong Kong, and then we went in Bahrain also in semifinals. So because sometimes your professors mix this up, and then you have your CV, and you don't want to, you know, give wrong information or conflict information. That's why you, as an applicant, you need to remember these key points to, you know, work together with your professor to have the best application. Okay, so we continue with this. I think I am done with this. I don't want to talk more. Let's see what else my professor has written. Sirat did not diminish his intellectual curiosity about the practical legal education and launched Afghanistan's first international criminal court moot in 2017. So I don't have to change this name because it's my own achievement, so I write it, there's no problem. Moot in 2017. So what did my professor say? Above he said creative, careful and creative thinker, terrific ability to draw his experience and logical observation to develop thoughtful opinions on variety of issues. You know what did my professor say? I think my professor kind of justified most of the things what he wrote in here, because I didn't say my professor to write this. I just gave my professor the information and my CV about myself and my background. But my professor was very smart. I see it now, because he said develop thoughtful opinions on variety of issues. And then my professor talked about my achievements, and then he said Sirat did not diminish his intellectual curiosity about the practical legal education and launched Afghanistan's first international criminal court moot in 2017. So this means I went to this international competition, I learned something, I came back to my country, and then I launched a new platform. That's good. Thank you, Professor. You have written the best recommendation for me. Okay. And now his legal contributions extend both to AUF and law students, to KUA and law students all over Afghanistan. So what did I do? I went to a competition. I launched a new platform for law students in my country at the national level. Now, students from my university are now participating in this moot court competition along other universities. So I helped both my university and other. So this is my thing. Come up with your own ideas. I am sure, I trust you. You have achievements. You have ideas. You have plans. You did something for your country. That is why you came here to learn, to apply, and to study in the UK and study master's degree. Of course, you are not a high school student. So you have little or big or small achievements. Think about them. Even if you don't have these things, I highly encourage you to come up with some initiatives, launch them, start a book club, start a society club, start a volunteer club in your community and help each other, help the people. And that is how you can maybe next year insert it in your reference letter when you are applying for Chevening Scholarship Program, especially those of you who cannot make it to Chevening, to Fulbright, or to that, or other scholarships. So this is a good thing. He is conscientious. He has been using so many high complex words about his work and classes. Okay, that word. This is, I don't know what's this word. What does it mean? Okay, it means diligent, industrious, punctuous, painstaking. Wow, that's good. In summary, Sirat, now he writes my full name. Sirat is clearly the best student I have worked with. Wow. I don't recommend you to write such a thing. I don't like it. I'm feeling ashamed of this. I highly recommend, because our university had a lot of best people compared to me. I'm not the best. I never was. I'm graduated now, of course, but still. I highly recommend Sirat Haidari as an outstanding candidate for graduate studies. In here, he wrote in parentheses, international commercial law with professional skill. So he exactly wrote that, which I don't, you don't have to write this. So with graduate studies, international commercial law. Okay, this is it. So the good thing is, as you need to have this in your paper, what you are studying in the UK, because this makes it more clear for the reader that your professor exactly knows that you want to study this field and he recommends you for that. Because if your professor recommends you, it is not that, okay, I recommend you to go to study anything. No, that's not the way. He recommends or she recommends you to study for something. And for those instructors who are watching this to learn the tips for Chevening, Chevening wants you to recommend that person for what field. You were teaching him like family law, and now he's studying space law, cybersecurity law. How can you recommend them study that? Maybe you know it, of course. It doesn't mean that you cannot, but how? So you have to give that there, please. Okay, his work and attributes during class and outside of class in the field of law and social sustainable activities indicate is excellent performance, which, okay, now he's talking about my extracurricular activities, but he should also give examples, which is starting actually totally a new paragraph, which is not good. I don't, because this is in summary, so he summaries, but summary should be very short, and your paper as short as possible. My professor wrote me a complete A4, everything is there, full of information, but I don't recommend a full of information. 3 paragraphs, first, second, and the third should be conclusion, but my professor wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 paragraphs. I don't recommend you to write 5 paragraphs, or I don't recommend you to have 5 paragraphs, a letter of recommendation, because 3 paragraphs is good. Your professor doesn't have to brag too much about you, because that will look fake. And I hope that this has helped you so far. Before it gets too late, if you have learned something, and if you are still watching me here explaining things, that means this has helped you. So I kindly request you to please like this video, write your comments in the description, comments below, subscribe to this channel, share it with your friends so that others subscribe. If you like it, if you found anything useful, if you didn't find anything useful, don't subscribe. Yes. And I have also other channels that I'm helping students to apply to DADA scholarship and Fulbright scholarships. The links are below. Please click on those YouTube channels and subscribe to those YouTube channels as well. And there are Facebook groups you can request to join those groups as well to learn more from the people from around the world. Okay, excellent performances. Let's dive back to our writing. I hope you could have seen it before because it was too below. Performances which, where is it? Excellent performances in the field of law. Activities in the field of law which assures me of his success in postgraduate studies. Wow. Please contact me if there is anything else I can do on his behalf. Sincerely, I want to remove this one. I want to make this fit. Sincerely, my professor wrote his name, X and X. Assistant Professor of Law. Kar Pharma, University of Afghanistan. And phone, you have to write this phone number 079XXX, email, and the email should be your official. I highly recommend you to have your official. It is xxx at kua.edu.af. Okay, here we go. So I learned a lot by explaining this whole tutorial. Having my own recommendation letter, reading it after a year or after 2 years. When my professor wrote this to me, I read it 100 times there. I was so happy, of course, but I forgot it. And now I see and I think and I analyze them, spend some time to, have critical thinking and then explaining this to you. I think, and now I know my professor, he has been very smart, and I thank him. I thank all professors and instructors watching this now, not to learn from me, of course. You don't learn anything from me, but you just know the tips and tricks for the Chevening scholarship if you are not familiar. And I would like to request every student applicant who is watching this movie to thank your professors and appreciate their hard work and their support. We have built this community, together with my friends, by having these YouTube channels to share my knowledge. Like I went to Hong Kong, learned something, and then came to my country. I made another platform to help everybody. I participated in Chevening Scholarship Program, and then I created this YouTube channel to help everybody around the world to achieve their dreams. I started my life in a very poor community, and here I am in the UK today, and I'm going to Germany for the rest of my studies for the DAD scholarship. And that is why you can find the tutorial for DAD scholarship in another channel in the tutorials in the description below. So I want to share my knowledge with the world to learn something. I hope this had helped you learn something, and I request you to write in the comments if you see any question in the comments that I did not answer them. Let's build a community of peace and solidarity, help each other out, have and hold hands together and do something for this beautiful world that we are living in. This video has been long. Please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel and share it with your friends, and wish you best of luck with your Chevening application or Fulbright or DAD. Love you all to the moon and back, and see you in my other video. Bye bye.